Hi everyone, it's Nat here. Hope you're all doing well. So I'm on for my third project for November for Aunty Vera Scrap and Craft. So in front of me I have the Tim Holtz Vignette drawers, I think they're called. So I've been looking at these for a while and I've got an idea of what to do with them, with the beautiful papers. So I grabbed those. I also have one of the Tim Holtz adornments. They're from the Foundry set. I might be using that one. It says Fisher Kalamazoo. So I have the beautiful ruler ribbon, also Tim Holtz Ideology. That will go well with this one. And of course the paper stash, which is the Dapper, Tim Holtz Ideology Dapper papers. And there are stacks of papers in this of all different sizes. So as you can see, I've been hacking away at them. Now I'm using the 12 by 12s for this project so far. And what I want to do is cover some of our little drawers. And then I have some other bits and pieces which I want to put into this as well. So I might start first, just push that to the side, with these. Now I've got these from a cheap shop. And I'll probably wrap some cotton around them, but I think what I want to do is get a bit of colour on them because they're a bit too new looking. So I do have my distress ink, my walnut stain, and I'm going to use my brush pen. Now the paper stash, the drawers, the adornments and the ruler ribbon is all on sale for the month of November, as they are my chosen items. So, and of course you can get your inks as well from Aunty Vera, which I'm trying to get a good collection of now because I didn't have many when I started my crafting. I have a fair few now, but you never seem to have the colour that you want. So I'm just going to get some of that onto just some plastic packaging here. And I'm just going to use that to paint. Just mix some water into it. Just going to paint these and see how that goes. Not quite as dark as I want yet, but we can always layer it up. Oh, yeah, that's getting a bit of colour on. Because I want them to have a bit of a vintage look. Darkening them up a bit. It will probably, when it dries, it might not be as dark, so I can go over it again if I want. Probably could have got one of my bigger brushes out, but I thought I'd use this because it saves me getting a bigger brush and a cup of water. In other words, I'm lazy as usual. Probably because it's a beautiful day and I've been out in the garden weeding. That's all I do when I go out in the garden at the moment is weed. A bit behind with it all. It'll be nice when it's done and I can plant and admire my plants. I do have plants out there. I'm just trying to find them through all the weeds. I have a bit of a cottage garden going out there. I don't have lawn, so I'm just trying to keep it planted up. Let's put that one to the side. So it's hard to tell what's the wetness and what's the ink, but as you can see, lovely change of colour there so far. So we'll see how it is when it dries. I might just dab a little bit more of the ink up here. And we can use some of this water, just get it a bit darker. You might be able to hear my exhaust fan going in the background. I've got roast pork, marinated roast pork, that's a more appropriate way of putting it, cooking away in the oven with some onion. Must stick some sweet potato in when the alarm goes off. And then I've got some carrot and broccoli to have with it, so I'm really looking forward to that tonight. I might just smush that in. Yeah, that sort of works. Get a bit more water. It's amazing how versatile the distress inks are. You can use them for all sorts. Oh, it's got some darker colour on there, which I quite like. Grab this one again. I'm going to get some of this dark colour and just put it into the creases here a bit. It looks good when you just rub it in and get those little specks of dark ink. Make it look real old and dirty-ish. Get some water coming out of this. So now I'll let those dry for a bit and we will get on with starting to cover our little vignette. It's so hard for me to say, vignette drawers. I think that's how you say it. Now I have all of these papers, so a couple of them I have begun cutting so that they might fit. So I've got this one, it's got the rulers on that side, and then this graph paper. And I'm thinking that I'll use that because the other papers I've found to do this that I really liked was this one, which has these, I assume you call these darts in sewing. I'm not sure because I'm not a sewer. And then it has these shirt advertisements on it as well. And I really liked that. So that's going to be on the outside. So I thought we'd run with a bit of a bluish theme. And so that's why I thought that this would be good for the inside. And I decided to have something a bit plainer on the inside. And then the little bits and pieces that we put in here will stand out and we can show them off more. So I think I'll start by sticking this in. It seems to fit quite well. So I might actually ink around these, and I've decided to use my black soot distress ink because I haven't got if I had a real dark navy blue like that, I'd use that, but I don't. So I thought the next best thing is to use my black soot. So I'm going to stick this in just with some of my Helmars. Pretty good. I don't do this sort of thing often, so I'm sort of winging it. So it's not going to be perfect, although what is perfect? Let's folded a bit there because it was a bit long up there, but you can't really notice it that much, so I'm quite happy with that. So that's the back done, and then we've got our little drawer pieces that go in just like that. It's so handy that you can take those out. So I might put some of the same paper just on the tops of these shelves. And then I am debating whether I want to cover in here or not. Okay, so they're the pieces for our little shelves done. So now I just want to check how much I have to cut off. It's a pretty good fit, that one. It's just a little rough because of my cutter just there. So I'll leave that one with that. There we go. And again, we want to ink around those ones. Now we'll stick these on. If we go 3.5 to the end of my ruler, we're looking at about here. So 3.5, about there. And then I might go from this thick line and do 3.5 there. And 3.5 there. I should. Yeah, they're fitting pretty good. If I have to, I can trim a bit off, but they're not looking too bad. And we'll ink the edges. I might need to cut one more after. So now we just want to check that I think they're pretty well all different. So this one is about 6 centimetres and between 7 and 8 millimetres, 6.7. Just going to hold that over the top and cut another one for the other side. them two bottom bits done. Then measure this. And they can go in this top bit. Yeah, they're looking all right. It will do. And you know, I quite like that, but it means I might have to put some on the top now because, yeah, or else it will look weird. So I can stick them in after I've given them an ink. So next job is to ink around the edges of the little bits that we cut out to put on the sides. That's those done. Now I think I should cut out a bit for, we haven't even got one for the bottom. How good am I? So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, and they should pretty well all be the same as what we've cut there. So I'll use the same measurements. Of course, we've got to ink these as well. That's got to go top, that's got to go bottom. Scissors can go away, ink can go. Let's try and stick these ones in. Now we want to do the top piece. Alright, so that's the top and the bottom done. So we need to do the top, the bottoms, tops, or whichever side, the other side of our little shelves. So they should be right to go straight on. Beautiful, so that's our shelves done. So now we've just got to do the side pieces. So I'm just slipping these in and make sure they sort of fit. Sort of. Doesn't matter if there's a little bit of a gap at the back there or whatever, or even at the front, doesn't look too bad. Just slipping it in. I don't know how much you can see. Now, let's put our little shelves in. Just see which bit looks the best for the top. That side looks good. It doesn't fit as good there, so I reckon. So I cut out bits that I showed you before that will fit either side. So I've got one going that way and one going that way because I didn't have enough plain parts in the one sheet to do them both going that way, and I thought it doesn't really matter. So, and I didn't want to cut into the other sheet because I've got plans for that. And now from that sheet also I fussy cut this gentleman in his fine attire. And I also cut out the words that were on there. Now, this does not look like all of them. Oh, yeah, I think that's it. So it is men's fine dress shirts, I'm pretty sure. So we're going to use those as well to decorate the outside so far. And we've got a little bit here for the top. So we will start with, let's start with the top. So again, I'm going to ink around all these pieces. And now I'm probably going to have to cut my gentleman down, so I might ink around him and my words afterwards, because I'll probably have to cut them down a bit too, which is a bit of a shame, but to make it work the way I want it, I might how to do that now. I can either have it with the arrows that way. I'm so particular when it comes to stuff. I think I'll like it better that way. It's pretty good. And then we'll do this side, which is the side that I want this on. So now this side, so we've got our gentleman. So I want to put him on there. And then we've got men's. So that almost fits except for the little, whatever you call that thing, colon. I don't know. No, it's not, because that's got 2 dots. See? Good, aren't I? Apostrophe? Something like that. Fine. I know everyone's laughing at me now. Men's fine. Dress, shirts. Now, see, the shirt doesn't fit. So I don't know whether I want to wrap it around or just chop it off. I might end up just chopping it off a bit, so it's a bit short, but you can still see what it's meant to say. So let's have a look. It's a bit better, and we could just cut that off. Thinking I could just fold it over, because then you can still see the whole S and it doesn't stick out too much the other side there, so I might actually do that. That's not hanging over at all. Good. It's good when things work. So we might have the same problem here, but we'll be putting that on after we stick our fellow on. Now here's a problem, because he's got his arm, and I don't think I particularly want his, I mean, I could put it, no, I don't like his arm around there. So it's like, what bits of him do I chop off? Because you sort of want an arm. Much better. So let's give him an ink and a dress as well. Now this side, do I need to do anything? Could put a shirt or two up and down here maybe. Okay, so far that is our outside and that is the inside. So I'm going to go now and I'm just going to give these a couple of coats of my spray sealant, and once that's dry we can get doing the inside. So I have spray sealed all the paper on the inside and the outside. So hopefully that will just protect it a little bit more. Now we've got our little spools that are nice and dry and they're looking good. Really like them. The ink, especially the dark stuff's made it look nice and aged. So what I'd like to do is we have a bit of a blue theme going, so I'm thinking of using some blue and some black cotton. And I picked this up at the second-hand shop and it looks like there's some blue and black on here that I might use. It saves me using any off of a roll. And we're just going to wrap it a little bit around. So I'll get my fine tip glue for this, I think. Let's see if we can find, oh yeah, they've got the starts for us, that's good. Now, which one do we want our blue on? Which one do we want our black on? Might put blue on the smaller one. So I'm just going to dab a bit of glue to affix the cotton to. Hope you can see all right. There's a few shadows around because it's very late. Having a bit of a late night crafting session. And I like this time of night. I was going to say it's nice and peaceful, but my son is in the other room yelling to someone on his computer as usual. So just sit that there and that'll hold it. Again, I might just do a little dab of glue to finish it off. And then I might just leave a bit hanging. So I'll repeat that with the one with the black. So I've finished winding my second spool with black and stuck it down. Just leave some dangly bits, I think that looks cool. And then I hunted through my button collection, my greens and blues that I've got here, and grabbed out some of the blues. They're all from the second-hand store as well. I have a bit of a habit of second-hand shopping. But it's really great because with these crafts I can utilise a lot of the stuff that I find. So makes it even more fun. So I have placed them on, but I haven't stuck them on yet. So that's what I'm thinking of doing, something like that. So I think I will stick the spools down and stick the buttons down because I really like the way they look up there. I love this Hellmann's glue because you can do absolutely everything with it. Well, so far it hasn't failed me with much, so... Put a nice bob on. So now we've got to stick the buttons on. So I've got this big blue one at the back there. That's looking pretty good. Press him down a bit. Now the inside. This is the fun part. Whoop. Gotta stop knocking everything around. So I have my Ideology ruler ribbon, and I also have some This is bias binding. I might use some of that. I've got my little adornment, which I might put on the side sometime. I'll have to think about that. And then I have some vintage bits and pieces. I think a couple of these might have been my grandmother's. And then a few other bits I've found in secondhand stores and antique stores. So I've got some blocked tape that's black. I've got some, whatever you call these things, press stud thingy-jigs. Yeah, those things. But I love the look of the packet and that it's got black on it. Then I've got these little pins in their little holders. I love these. What are they called? Berry pins. But they're gorgeous. I've got this. It looks like a sewing machine bobbin. Got some blue thread here on this vintage spool. And I've got these beautiful little needle packets. Flora McDonald. I like the back of that one for this project, I think. And then this one, Able Morals Celebrated Needles. Aren't they gorgeous though? So, and then like, you know, it's all blue and black, and that's why I thought it would go really well with the papers from the paper stash. So the idea is to put them in here. I thought it would be a really nice way of displaying these sort of keepsakes. I won't stick them in or anything, that way I can move them around, and you know, they're quite vintage, but there are a couple of pieces that I might stick in, like the ruler ribbon. So it's just now I've got to try and figure out where to put them and how to show you, because it's usually standing up. So I'm thinking maybe it might be best if I do this and then show you afterwards, which I might. Yeah, because I sort of have to stand it up and it would be difficult to film that. So what I'll do is get it all set up and then I will come back and show you what I've done. Okay, so I have finished my little sewing box. So the theme this month was the man who won. So I figure with this one, the man who won today was the man who became a tailor who made men's fine dress shirts. So you've seen the top. Now I'm probably going to tip everything out showing you this, but that is the side. And it says men's fine dress shirts and it's got the man there. And then on the other side, you saw me stick on the little shirts. I've also stuck on the adornment there, and it's got a bit of the bias binding in it. So I've just stuck it on with glue and then tied the bias binding on. So on the inside I have the ruler ribbon, and I have stuck that to the side and then just a little bit down here. So I rolled a little bit up, stuck it to the side so it sits in there and stays there, and then stuck a little bit down here. So in there I have stuck all my bits and pieces, and they have fallen around everywhere, so I will fix them up real quick and show you the way it is. What I'll do is put photos as well at the end of this video so you can see it without the bits falling everywhere. But down the bottom I have got the cotton and some pins, and then I've got a bulb pin and a little pin as well that I put there. And then I have the block tape and some more pins and the needle packet in the middle there. And then up the top I have this needle packet, which is meant to sit in the corner. She keeps falling out though. And then I've got that little spool, and I have my little press clips there as well. So the idea is there's still room in here if I find more little bits of sewing ephemera around the antique stores and the secondhand stores that I can put in here and rearrange, which will be really cool. So I really love this. Usually I do the sewing, when you do sewing theme, you know, it's quite a feminine looking thing. So it was really cool to try working on something that was a bit more in a masculine theme. So that is my project for Aunty Vera Scrap and Craft. Heaps and heaps of fun. to make that one with the gorgeous papers. There's just so much you can do with them. So I've still got 1 or 2 more projects to go this month, so I'll get cracking with those. But yeah, this vignette drawer, heaps of fun to make something like that, and so many different themes you could use it for. So if you're bored and you don't know what to do and haven't got any ideas, grab one of them and give it a go. Put your little bits and pieces that you find around the place in there. Change it up to whatever theme you want. Pretty cool. So take care, everyone. Check out what everyone else has been making as well, and go and check out the shop. All the links will be below. Take care. See you later.